Hot flashes in Florida, holy cow. It feels like you're living on the surface of the sun. Welcome back to Fab 50s Florida, everyone. Today we're going to talk about menopause and the real. Let's talk about the real when it comes to having menopause, experiencing it, and really not knowing that much about it when it hit, and then moving to Florida when the hot flashes love to be at their peak. We moved here almost 3 years ago, and we moved here in the middle of the summer. Really smart move, right? But the truth of the matter is that hot flashes feel like you're burning from the inside out, no matter where you are, right? So anyone here who has experienced any hot flashes, I know that you know what I'm talking about. So it doesn't really matter if you're in Florida or you are in the Antarctic. When you feel it, you feel it. However, when you're feeling it from the inside out, and then on top of that, you also have this external heat, and you are sweating, and you have this humidity, and it just feels like, oh, you're just getting so weighed down. It's a little overwhelming. So when I walk around, or when literally doing anything, when I'm even in the house, sometimes I always have to have a paper towel on me to blot my head, because you never know when it's going to come. You always have to make sure that you have a lot of water, that I have water wherever it is that I am, in the car or on a walk. Nope, keep going. And you want to make sure that you're staying hydrated. But the truth of the matter is, I didn't necessarily think about the temperature difference when I was going to have hot flashes, because being in Florida, being in New York, anywhere in between, it's not something that I thought about, because that heat does come from the inside out. So if you've ever experienced hot flashes, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and I would love to hear your tips on how it is that you're staying cool, and how it is that you're going through menopause and keeping your sanity at the same time. But the heat is real. So if you haven't gone through menopause, just know that you be nice to people who are. Be kind and courteous, not just about the symptoms, all of that, but if someone starts gushing sweat, don't point it out to them. They don't need to know that. I know that's happening. I can't control it. That's my body. That's a physiological reaction, right? We can't help it. But one of the things that I do here is, you do this anyway because you're in Florida. But one of the things that I do here is, I make sure that I'm trying to go out early in the morning. We go out in the afternoon, obviously, because Windsor has to walk. But then we go out in the evening. We don't go out during the middle of the day if we can avoid it. That is just smart Florida practice, right? However, with hot flashes, which I'll talk about some of the remedies and how it's gotten a little bit better. But with the hot flashes, in the middle of the day, it is like, to say uncomfortable is not even appropriate. It's so uncomfortable. So just know that if you see somebody who cannot avoid being out in the middle of the day and they're pouring sweat, there's no need to point it out to them. They know this is their body doing what their body does. So hot flashes in New York, real. Here in Florida, even more real. Even inside in the air conditioning while I'm sleeping. Night sweats, they come out of nowhere. They wake you up. They come out of nowhere. I don't even know why I'm waking up. I would normally wake up. I've always been a good sleeper, but I would normally wake up one, maybe 2 times a night, maybe, just to use the toilet, and then go right back to sleep. When menopause hit, oh my goodness, it was pretty much a regular occurrence where I'd be up 3-4 times a night, maybe even more, and almost always about the same time, in a full sweat, to the point where I'm like, why is my pillow so wet? Yes, because those hot flashes, whew, honey. So imagine that you're in your bed, inside in the air conditioning, with cotton pillowcases, so you can imagine how bad it is outside. And right now I'm sweating. This is not a hot flash. This is just life. So you know what I'm going to do? What did I say? I have my paper towel to wipe my forehead, because hot flashes come, and because you kind of need that in Florida anyway. Secondly, something that I didn't expect to come with menopause. Everyone expects the hot flashes. You always see those memes or the jokes or the TV shows that talk about hot flashes. But what I didn't expect was all of the other stuff. And I will say, it kind of made me feel a little disjointed, almost not quite, but almost like out of body experience where I was moody and I was irritable. I'm not a moody and irritable person, but really irritable. Having anxiety attacks or panic attacks when I've never had those. That's not who I am. Uh, I mean, we all experience it to some form depending on the situation, but on a regular basis to the point where it was several times a day. And I thought, I really don't know what's going on. Am I concerned about my work? Am I concerned about money? Am I concerned about my health? Am I concerned about my pets, my senior pets? Like all of these thoughts racing through my head and not necessarily in a cohesive pattern, right? I'm not sitting there obsessing and worrying about, oh my gosh, Windsor's getting so old and his joints are failing and I need to get him to the vet. And it wasn't one pattern of thought that it was just about Windsor. It was about everything. I'd be worrying about Windsor, and then I'd be worrying about what's for dinner, and then what's happening at work, and then how am I paying the bills, and did I transfer that money, or did I let the dog out? Just a million different things randomly, almost kind of like a stream of consciousness, but even worse. So the way it messed with my mind really, really wasn't something I expected. The other thing that I didn't expect was the pains that I get in my body, in my joints. It's weird. Pains in my neck, the pains in my shoulders, my hips. Yeah. I've always stretched them and been able to walk and been able to get up without really feeling it. Menopause really messed with me. My joints hurt, my wrists hurt. I do have arthritis, so that is definitely part of it. But when I tell you exacerbated to the point where I don't know, I just didn't realize. I didn't realize that was going to be a thing. Nobody warned me about that for sure. My gynecologist, my doctor, things that I had read. Even though most of my research did start when I started experiencing it, but that's those aches and pains and those joint betrayals, definitely not something I expected. And here are some things that I have done aside from medically, right, with the medical doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm just going to tell you some of the natural sort of remedies and natural things that I've done that have helped with the hot flashes, with the sleeping, with the sleeplessness, some of the pains. So we've talked about it before as far as changing diet, cutting back on sugar and gluten and all sorts of refined breads, refined carbs and breads and everything. That has helped a lot. It has helped a lot with the inflammation, with the pain, with the sleeping. It really has. And walking has helped so much. Moving your body and stretching and keeping it going and swimming and biking and just keeping yourself active. It really does help. It helps release whatever toxins, whatever pheromones, whatever. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but it definitely helps you. It makes me just feel better. It loosens up my joints, and it really does take down whatever inflammation that I've been feeling. So not only am I walking now for weight loss, because one of the big signs of menopause was not being able to lose weight when I put on those few pounds, and I put on way more than a few pounds, but not being able to lose it as easily as I could in the past. We'll talk about that another day, but really, really big one. So walking, absolutely essential to kind of help with the symptoms, with all of it altogether, and then also specifically with the weight loss. We are walking for wellness overall. I'm absolutely walking for weight loss. I want to make sure that I'm keeping my body moving and that I'm being good to my body and I'm being real about the fact that I need to lose weight because that's going to help with my joints. It's going to help with everything. So I want to hear from everyone here. What are some pointers that you have as far as menopause, as far as maybe some natural remedies that you've tried, some things that you've experienced and that have actually worked for you? So please share and let me know what your thoughts are on your worst menopause symptom, your best tip, and let's all support each other. Let's be kind, let's support each other, and let's all get healthy together in our 50s and beyond. Thanks so much for joining us again on Fab 50s. Tomorrow we are going to talk about cost of living because I was thinking about it when I was looking at my insurance bill. Let's talk more tomorrow. Bye, everyone.